Hey guys, we are nearing the end of the unit. Today we are going to be looking at scales of analysis. So for today, we need to be able to define scales of analysis that are used by geographers. So this includes global, regional, national, and then local level. And then also explain what scales of analysis reveal. So typically we see patterns and processes at different scales can reveal variations in and different interpretations of data. So we'll take a look at some of those examples here in just a second. So first, scales of analysis. You can kind of think of it as zooming in or zooming out. At the largest scale here, we have global, and then going down to regional. We have state, which can also be called country, which can also be called national. Then we have sub-state level, or even within a country, you can have other scales like at the various cantons or states. Then we have county, which is more specific to the US, but for Switzerland, it would be maybe more like at the Gemeinde level, or maybe Gemeinde, and then city or local, that would be even smaller. So in terms of map scale, we do have to have a general understanding of like scale like this that you might see on certain maps. So we have small scale maps. These show a large area with small amounts of data. So these are like zoomed out. This is, you can see here, small scale. So it's a larger area. Then we have large scale maps. This is a small area that show a lot of data. So zooming in, zooming in, zooming in, then that's at the largest scale in this particular little example here. I think you could hear my dog crying. So for a global scale, map, then we can see national level of analysis. So this is a global map, right? Here we see the whole globe, right? It's political. We can see the lines dividing country by country, and the data is represented at that national level. Okay, so this is looking at population living in extreme poverty. Then we have national scale maps, and here we see like one country or one nation, and this is looking at sub-state level of analysis. So this is looking at state by state, and that data is then averaged, right, at the state level. So again, this is looking at people who are living in poverty. This is doing the same thing, right? But look at the color of the US here versus when you zoom in, right? When you're looking at it at the national level and then analyzing at the sub-state level, it reveals different information. So that's kind of like one of the big takeaways of scale, right? Information from scale, you might have different conclusions, or it might not show the same kind of detailed information. Here we go. So if you look at these two, look at the variation in the spatial patterns. So again, going from like one number to then kind of being able to break it up and look at section by section reveals different information. So at an even smaller scale, right? Here we have country levels of analysis. So at the county level, it goes even smaller. Sorry, my pups are getting a little impatient here. Even smaller. And from what we saw before, state by state, then the information is broken up at county scale. So if we look on the next one here, we see further difference from state to state than from county to county. We still have the state lines here, right? That kind of shows you a little bit more. And then in terms of local map scale and level of analysis, these are different census tracts, and these are probably the smallest scale of analysis. This is kind of like sizes of neighborhoods. Then we have regional analysis. So instead of looking at country by country, we could then look at regions like, let's say, Southeast Asia, North Africa, and so on. So big takeaway, Scales of analysis can reveal different elements of a particular characteristic, and typically we see global, regional, national, and local scales that are used in this course. So I will see you guys in the very last objective.